Well, Gauteng Premier David Makhura and his executive will be visiting several malls across the province to check if they're complying with lockdown regulations. Now, this comes after complaints over a lack of social distancing and some people not wearing masks when they go to these malls. Our reporter Heidi Jokos tracking this for us this morning. Heidi, a very good morning to you. Give us a little more detail. You're in Soshanguve Crossing, we understand, this morning. What will the Premier and his team be looking for?
Yes, Rebecca, so we do understand that the Premier, as well as about 8 MECs, will be going across Gauteng this morning to various shopping centres to make sure that shop owners as well as shoppers are complying with the rules and regulations. Customers are wearing face masks and there is social distancing. When we drove in, we're seeing people monitoring how many vehicles are coming in and making sure that there aren't too many people coming in. But I'm just going to take a walk with my cameraman Linge to just actually show you how the Gauteng government has set up here. There is a mobile clinic. This is obviously possibly to be screening people that are perhaps showing high temperatures or that need to possibly be tested. So that is set up here possibly for customers coming in. And on the other side, we understand that there are testing for HIV, and we're also seeing a very high police presence here, and we also saw an army truck coming in. So people are ready and waiting for the Premier to arrive. He hasn't arrived as yet, but we do understand that he will be taking a tour through the shopping centre, and later on he'll be going to other shopping centres throughout the day to make sure there is compliance, Rebecca, because we have seen on a number of occasions shoppers and shop owners possibly not being able to handle the influx of people coming in, and because people are able to go into the shopping centres and purchase their essential goods, we need to make sure that there is adherence to the rules and regulations, and sometimes it might be a little bit difficult to do so. So we understand the Premier will be making sure that that is adhered to.
So are there any particular hotspots or areas identified as hotspots where we're seeing this non-compliance, Heidi, that the Premier is going to be targeting?
So we understand that there are about 8 MECs that are going across Gauteng, and the Premier will be focusing on certain areas. It's not particularly clear as to why he's chosen these specific shopping centres, but we do understand that it might be due to the amount of people coming in to these shopping centres, and perhaps to make sure that there is proper compliance. But we also understand, Yuveka, that he won't only be checking that people are wearing their face masks and adhering to social distancing rules, but also to make sure that there is no overpricing of goods, and to make sure that all goods in shops are not expired. So we have been seeing a lot of that over the past couple of weeks, with the MEC of Safety, Faith Mazibuko, also picking up a number of goods being sold to customers that are expired. So the Premier is obviously coming on the ground and making sure that South Africans adhere to all of the rules and regulations, but also shop owners. I actually think the Premier might have arrived. We're seeing some action on the other side, with the army also going out there. So, you know, it's important for government to make sure that they have a grip on this, and that South Africans wear their face masks and make sure that they social distance.
And just from what you've seen, Heidi, you've been out there for a little while now, and I'm just wondering, because, you know, this does come down to each one of us as individuals and not just depending on officials and premiers and president and MECs to go around making sure that people are doing what they're doing. From what you're seeing, are citizens themselves looking at each other and going, where's your face mask? Did you sanitize? If they walk into a store, where's the guy who's supposed to be out here sanitizing for us? Are they demanding these things themselves?
Yes, definitely. I mean, just looking around me, I see most people wearing their face masks, whatever it might be, a face mask or a scarf or just any kind of cloth around their nose and mouth. And this is something that is imperative for each South African to make sure that they themselves make sure that they wear these face masks, they sanitize as much as possible. And these shopping centres also equip each South African and each customer coming in to make sure they're sanitized sanitizer all over so they can do that. But what I'm seeing on the ground, Rebecca, I think a number of people are really adhering to this, and it's all about safety first. So as much as it might be difficult to wear this face mask, and many people say it's so difficult to breathe with this face mask, it's important for people to adhere to this. And what I'm seeing, everybody seems to be wearing a face mask or something over their face. And I also understand that a number of shops don't allow you inside if you don't have something covering your nose and mouth. So that's something also that shop owners could possibly implement to ensure that everybody takes precaution.